Okay, here we go. The Planet Mikey Show.
He's about to get crazy and wild. Stay for a while. Don't touch your radio dial.
Planet Mikey Show.
Kicking it back, sports talk. Listen to that and stay tuned for some giggles and laughs. Go.
Okay, now I want each of you to shout your own name. Do that.
Welcome to the Planet Mikey Show.
Although one guy did stand up in the back and go, Stanley! He was the only one who spoke when she did that. Welcome, everybody, to the Planet Mikey podcast. It's a one-of-a-kind podcast. People wish it was only one of them, but we have one every week pretty much, don't we, guys?
Right.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're hearing the voices of Bill Smith,
Hello.
The wizard of scientific audiophonic relativity, and Ben Kitchen, who we have in affectionate manner labeled the lackadaisical ne'er-do-well.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what a
Sure.
You know what a ne'er-do-well is? It's got a hyphen in it. I mean, no, an apostrophe.
Yeah.
Ne'er,
Ne'er.
N-A-E-R.
Yeah.
Right? A ne'er-do-well is someone who, doesn't do shit.
Never does well. There you go. Ne'er-do-well. That's correct.
And lackadaisical only in the sense that when he's here,
Yeah.
we're hard-pressed to get him to even get the computer working.
That's true.
Yeah, you got to pay.
Hey, remember Tatiana?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another thing he lackadaisically ne'er did well.
Jesus.
What happened to that Tatiana thing?
She took one look at you and said, nope.
That might have been it, Mike.
That was her first mistake. What's she doing now?
Nothing. And that's her fault.
See?
If she'd come on the show,
She'd be doing something.
she'd be doing something.
We are brought to you by, and I got to say this because I'm going to take my car into Pro Automotive. MA.
If you've got trouble with your car, truck, or
MA.
SUV, Pro Automotive is who to see. Pro Automotive.
Now, ProAutomotiveMA.com is their website. Those are people that you want to go to have any problem with you. And I've been driving the hell out of that cop car. So the check engine light came on. Now it's running perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it. It's troublesome.
Did you secure your gas tank?
That's what I'm going to check on.
Yeah.
That. It could be windshield washer fluid or something. But I'm going to take it in for an oil change anyway. Because you should do an oil change, even with synthetic oil, between 5,000 and 7,000 miles.
They say the more frequently you do it, some people say you're wasting money. Others say keeps your car alive.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am so proud and happy to be affiliated with the certified mechanics and Jason Russo and the folks at Pro Automotive in Webster and Dudley, Massachusetts. If it's under the car, I knew that was coming.
If it's under the hood, go to Pro Automotive.
Machine gun.
It'll turn out good.
Hey. Also, my grandma's coffee cake, and we were happy to say that we shipped out one to Bill Burt.
Bill, thanks for coming, Bill.
He wanted a pineapple coconut. It's on its way to his house as we speak.
Did you see the look on his face when you said pineapple coconut?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Immediately.
It's almost like it's like I'd yelled out, free cheerleader sex.
Yeah, that's it.
Because that's the only way my
that a
face lights
thing?
up. Yo. Yeah. Well, it's free until you get all done, and then it's like you got to buy back all the pictures.
The prostitute is someone who would love you.
Play it.
Oh, the whole thing.
Play it. I love that.
The prostitute is someone who would love you no matter who you are, what you look like. Yes, it's true, children. But that's not why you pay a prostitute. No, you don't pay for her to stay. You pay her to leave afterwards. That's why.
Now bring in James Taylor. Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Taylor.
Prostitute is like any other woman. They all pay something for sex, and they do it well.
That's why I say
Prostitutes.
Oh.
You put those two guys together, and what a band they would have had.
Oh, yeah.
I want to first check your verbal glibness. Both you guys.
Yes.
This is a little test I like to give people to see if they're qualified.
Is this like a quiz or a test?
to have open microphones on the podcast. You ready?
Yep.
I want you both to say this 5 times fast.
Go ahead.
3 smart fellas, they felt smart. 3 smart fellas, they felt smart. Go. Fast.
Go ahead, Ben.
What was it? 3 smart fellas, they felt smart.
Yeah, 3 times fast.
3 smart fellas, they smell farts. I was wondering how long it was going to take me.
Smitty?
Don't ask me to do
Come
that.
on.
3 smart fellas,
They smell farts.
they feel smart.
See? Yeah. You guys failed.
3 smart fellas,
miserably.
they feel smart.
Now
No,
practice
can't do
and
it.
come back
I
next
can't do
week.
it once.
Straighten that shit out.
Good God.
You do it 3 times fast. You show us,
3 smart fellas,
genius.
they felt smart. 3. What do you,
Yeah,
how many
see?
times?
I don't know. You said 5 and then you said 3. Do it
now.
3. Just do it 3.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's my contest. I'm not doing the shit.
Okay,
I
come
don't
on.
have to pass the test. I wrote the test.
Jesus. Come on, man.
But how do we know if it's accurate?
Now say toy boat 5 times fast.
Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat,
Toy
toy
boat,
boat,
toy
toy boat, toy boat,
boat,
toy boat.
See, that's what we like to call a tongue twister.
Can you
Where I come
hold your
from?
tongue and say I was born on a pirate ship?
Nope.
I remember that.
You haven't heard that for 70 years.
I
have
know.
you?
All of a sudden, I didn't even realize what it was.
I never hold my tongue. I make other people hold my tongue for me.
I was born on a pirate ship.
It's,
You were born on a pile of shit.
now that's funny. See, but if you're sixth grade,
It's still funny. Bill laughed hysterically.
Yes.
well, that's because we are
104.
3 smart fellas.
Who smell farts?
Now, I tell you, ever tell you my Davita Wright story from NEC? I can tell you this real quick because it came to my mind. I thought,
Take a deep breath.
Is that
Mike.
a person's name?
Okay.
Davita, yeah, she was a reporter, beautiful, brown-skinned, lovely, tall, statuesque, gorgeous woman.
I like her name.
Very kind woman too. And she was built. Man, let me tell you something. She had a body on her. I say that with all due respect.
Yeah.
So she had a desk near mine in the newsroom. At go ahead. No, it's Davida. Is she a very nice? Don't let's not expose her as a
What are you trying to say, Mike?
Davida. No. A.
damn this-
Yeah. What's wrong with you?
It's not me.
WR. That's not images.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Oh wait, we're having. We should.
you
be
keep
doing-
talking. I
There
was
she is,
fine
right
by
there.
myself.
There she is, right there. She's beautiful. See, that's her too. See right there. Okay, now so Davita Wright was a reporter. Nice again.
Oh yeah.
So she had a desk near mine in the newsroom at NECN.
Oh.
This is in the 90s. Okay, so you didn't have to be quite as politically correct, but she was sitting there typing a story, and I went by her and I leaned over her shoulder. And on her desk she had brought for lunch a Bosque pear. It was sitting there. Yeah. So I leaned over her shoulder and I said, "Nice pear, Davida." Kind of inferring. She thought it. She turned around and looked at me with a look of horror and shock on her face. And then I pointed to the pear that was sitting on her desk. What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
You're dicking around.
We're not doing anything.
We're trying to tell
do
a
stuff
story.
while you tell the story, so nobody else knows what's going
We're
on.
listening with rapt attention.
Yeah, you said you went up to her desk and you looked at her pear and said, "Hey, nice pear."
Right, but it was an actual pear. It was it was a fruit, the pear, like a peach pear. It was a pear.
A pear of what
Damn it.
fruit? What kind of fruit was it a pear of?
So, anyway, this is how Adam and Eve got in trouble. Not for the apple on the tree, but for the pear on the ground. So Davita Wright, there she is. She's beautiful, and she was shocked because I said that to her. Oh, nice pear.
Yeah.
Which was true.
Yeah, I'm looking at her picture now.
Yeah. And then when I pointed to the actual Bosque pear sitting next to her, she just looked at me and goes, "Oh, my goodness."
Oh, Mike,
I'm looking at her resume right now. It says right under here, under Zumba branding, has a nice pear.
Did they mention that she worked at NECN as a reporter? She's like an aerobic instructor. She's beautiful. Nice. Anyway, so I thought of that. Why did I think of that? Because I was eating a pear at my house. And I said, "Oh, this reminds me of Davita Wright, who had an unbelievable pear on her desk."
Unbelievable.
What's wrong with you?
That's terrible.
So I got pulled over yesterday. I was on my way to my son Will's.
Wait a minute. You were
On the road again.
It's time to harmonize. I can't wait to get on the road again. I always harmonize with the Cars for Kid commercial just because otherwise I will shoot myself.
I know, me too.
So I get pulled over yesterday, and I got to say, the cop that pulled me over, first of all, I deserved it. I made a bad lane change, kind of like I was late for the game. I was going to watch his JV football game in Gardner, Massachusetts, which is like an hour from where I live.
Sounds awful.
So I'm going up 190, and there had been a traffic jam in 290, so I had to cut around. I was late, and I didn't want to miss the game. So
And after all, you got that police interceptor engine in there
right,
yeah.
So I'm going up, and so I remember I passed into a different lane, and I saw on the left-hand side of the median there was a state policeman there, and I said, oops, I better get back. So I got back in the lane, and I kept going, and then he must have come after me for 8 miles, because it was like 8 or 10 minutes later, he finally pulled me over,
He was probably following you, looking at his computer, like tracking down your number to see if you were a cop. Because your car does
let me off. So anyway, the cop was a nice guy. He pulls me over. He's very courteous and very polite. He says, you had a bad lane change. You got to be careful of a license and registration. So I pull out my wallet, and I gave out what I thought was my driver's license.
Oh, no.
It was my medical cannabis card.
You did that once before.
He said it to me. He says, that's not your license. That's your cannabis card. He gives it back to me. I'm like, oops, and he says, I wish I could get one of those, he said.
There you go.
Which is a great thing to say.
Yeah.
So I gave it to him. He gave me a warning, and he was very nice. So I have zero complaints about the way I was treated by the guy.
Did you get his name?
I told him I was on the way to it's probably on the warning in my glove box. You want it?
It's nothing like a nice cop.
You could throw his name out next time you get pulled over. No, he's a really good guy. Yeah. And I was on my way I said, I'm on my way to a football game up in Gardner. He asked where I was headed. I said, Gardner. I'm thinking, Gardner? I've never been to Gardner. No one's ever been to Gardner. No. So I get up there. It's an hour. So as he comes back and gives me my license, registration, the warning back, he goes, hey, okay, here you go. He goes, good luck with at the game.
Nice.
See, he was a human being.
Yep.
So I got in the car and I went 90. No.
Catch me now, bastard.
And I go and watch my son, and he didn't play, because he's a freshman. He doesn't get in the games very often. But at the very end, they put him in the game, and he was in 6 plays, and he almost got to the quarterback 3 times. He's starting to feel the defensive lineman aggressiveness is necessary. So it's good for him, good for the kid. I'm just waiting for him he's big enough now he can tackle my ass. If he doesn't like something I say. Pulled over yesterday. First time in a long time. We Uber and Lyft drivers, we got to be careful. We have a reputation to uphold.
Oh, yeah.
You certainly have a reputation.
So I picked up, first of all, let me tell you about quickly 2 passengers before. I want to talk baseball today. I'm in a baseball
mood, yeah.
It's going to be good. I picked up 2 passengers in the last week. Mm-hmm. One guy was he got in, and I could smell. It was like 11 a.m., maybe noon. And he got in the car, and I could smell alcohol. Whoa. Oh yeah. This guy was soused in the middle of the day.
Good word.
So we're driving, and he's telling me, I said, well, so you got a car problem or something? He goes, no. He goes, I lost my license. What happened? Well, the police took it. They took my license away because I was arrested at my ex-wife's house. I guess I went there like around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was drinking. I was drunk. He said, and they wouldn't let me in the house. So the cops came, and then he goes, I threatened to beat the shit out of the cops.
Oh man!
I said, let me tell you something that I've learned in life. It's never a good idea to tell the cops. Especially when you're drunk at your ex-wife's house and she doesn't want you there. It's never a good idea to tell the cops that you're going to beat the shit out of them. Yeah. Okay. Because they're going to say, oh, no, you're not. And they're going to prove it. And he's like, well, I try to give him some friendly advice. And he goes, no, I know. Okay, but now you're drunk in the middle of the day. Where am I taking you? And I hope it's not to your ex-wife's
house.
Yeah, right. No, I was taking him to some job he had. But anyway, I thought that's kind of weird. Someone's got that issue going on, and they're drinking, and he smelled so much. I mean, it was like, honestly, not the time of day you normally smell that kind of alcohol smell.
What did it smell like? What kind of liquor?
I don't know.
Goldschlager.
I don't know. Shit.
Had little flakes of gold on them.
Oh. Yeah.
So then yesterday I picked up this young lady who had dyed bright orange hair.
It was that guy's ex-wife. Crazy.
Have you seen Howard?
And she said, can you take me to my ex-husband's place? I want to beat the shit out of him. So this girl yesterday, she was nice. She gets in. I'm driving her to Rhode Island, and
Damn.
we're driving, and all of a sudden in the back seat, she rolls down the window and she's like get some air, and I'm like, it's not that temperate for that. And then she's about a minute later, she goes, "Could you pull over? I don't think I feel well."
Oh, yeah.
So I pull over. Now, I carefully don't drive at night so drunk guys don't puke on my seats.
She
I like
might
to
have
keep
had
my car.
motion sickness sitting in the back seat. That happens sometimes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know. But she gets out of the car. She walks over the side of the road and squats down like a refrigerator repairman. And believe me, there was a lot of crack showing in the back. She pukes on the side of the road. And I'm like,
Yeah. Now she's going to get in my car.
this is why I do this, just to help people. And then she didn't explain what was wrong with her at all. But I thought that's the first time that's ever happened to me. I've done 5,000 rides, and no one's ever like said, "Can you pull over so I can puke?"
Maybe she had morning sickness.
It was afternoon.
Well, maybe she has afternoon sickness.
So those are my two favorite rides of the week: a drunk guy who should have puked, who threatened the cops, and the orange-haired woman. Seriously, Ronald McDonald color hair she had, and she did
Like
that on
dye?
purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She did it on purpose. Oh, no, she naturally had bright orange Ronald McDonald. No one's ever had the hair color. We're naturally that color.
You should be recording these people. Have a good story to play back.
Well, I'm going to get that set up. I think you
Against
have
their consent, too. Just record it. Fuck it.
Yep.
Yeah. And tell them I didn't know I was recording.
Yeah, we're not going to use their name or anything.
Did you hear about Giselle? She's pregnant.
Giselle Bundchen?
Jizzy, yeah.
Oh, boy.
She's she's all pregnant again.
Yeah.
She's 44 years old. And she's got, she's her boyfriend is the
Yoga. No.
jiu-jitsu. Now, is there Gentile jitsu too?
Yeah. A lot of paperwork, though.
So this jiu-jitsu instructor, Joaquin Valente,
Oh, Joaquin.
impregnated Giselle. Tom knows about it, by the way. They've already told Tom.
Everyone knows about it
Well,
now.
no, but before that, she called Tom and told him, so it didn't surprise him.
Imagine living your life, being so famous and living your life in public like that. And you go through the divorce, you got to tell somebody you're pregnant, you got the kids, all that whole thing.
And if they don't like it, you jiu-jitsu them.
I would think that you've got to be a manager involved somewhere that's going to be like a PR guy.
Yeah.
How to handle this.
A buffer.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, the Corleone family had a lot of buffers. That was one of the great lines of that movie. So on to the World Series. Can I just say a few things about baseball?
Okay.
I'm going to quote from who was the commissioner that died?
Bud Selig.
No, the Italian guy, Bart Giamatti.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to quote from his poem, and I'm going to do it in Joe Castiglione's voice.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
No.
It's like, haven't I listened to this fucking poem enough?
I'll put you up on the
It
booth.
begins in the spring.
Oh, shut up.
And then, like the winter. All right. We'll save Joe for later.
Okay.
Have you guys had any World Series experience? How many World Series games have you been to?
None.
Zero?
Zero.
I went to all of them, 2013?
You did?
Yeah, I was with you at half of them.
You went to the road game? So you
Yeah, I was
said
in
you
St.
went
Louis.
to all of them. You did go to St. Louis?
Yes.
See, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I did. It's not a fun time. Got into a loud shouting argument with our boss while
Which boss was that?
Kevin Graham.
What a douche he was.
Yeah.
Still probably is. And so you've been to how many total World Series games?
How many did that go? 6? So 6.
You went to all 6.
Yeah.
You know how many games I've been to?
I was going to. Mike,
Count
how many
them.
games have you been to, Mike?
64 World Series, Yankees against the Cardinals.
Jesus.
1 game. 1986, Mets, Red Sox, 7 games. That's 8, right?
You didn't go to any 75, huh?
No, well, I was just a fan. I wasn't in the media then, for sports. So I didn't go.
Thank you.
Short answer. 2004, I only went to 2 games, the home games,
Okay.
when they could reverse the curse. So that's how many? That's 10.
Okay.
2007, I went to all 4 games, including both in Colorado. That's 14. 2013, 3 games. But I went on the duck boat
I did not.
Which counts. That should count as a multiple thing. That duck poet thing was right. I'll talk about that in a second. But first.
But first.
Now this. Oh, that's my brother. Hold on. Let me just.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, I'm in the middle of recording my podcast. Would you like to say hello to the thousands of listeners?
Hello, thousands of listeners.
Okay, I'll have to.
Is that the brother you like?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll call you back.
Anytime.
All right, bye. Anyway, see how that works?
That's pretty good.
This is live. So the World Series is on now, and let me just a couple of thoughts I have about it. First of all, the two biggest stars in baseball and the two biggest media market franchises in baseball, the Dodgers of Los Angeles, or as Vin Scully would say, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the New York Yankees. They're two superstars. $90 million a year they make between the two of them. One makes $50 million a year. One makes $40. Ohtani, in the postseason this year, has 53 at-bats, 20 strikeouts, 245. Okay, not big stuff. But Aaron Judge, the Yankees' $40 million record-breaking superstar, slugger, has had 43 at-bats, 20 strikeouts. He's batting 140. Now, pitchers, when they bat 140, they hang their heads in shame. And they go skulking back to the bench saying, sorry, boys, I just suck at hitting. Yeah. That's the star of the team.
And he's making how much again?
$40 million a year.
I see.
Which is big money. Big money. Now, that means that these two superstars, for whatever reason, I'm not saying they're not good players. I'm saying that they choked under the pressure of this high-profile World Series.
I mean, Ohtani's had big hits through this playoff run. 245, not good.
20 Ks and 53 at-bats?
That's bad.
That's terrible.
That's bad.
He's hitting 400 in strikeouts.
And then he forgot how to slide into second base and hurt himself.
Yeah, dislocated his shoulder. When he got up, I said, it's right there. You didn't dislocate it. It's right there. Now, as a guy I hate who played for the Yankees, who came up bigger than any man in the history of the World Series, that's Reggie Jackson. And I hate Reggie Jackson. But you know what he did? He didn't hit 3 home runs in 3 consecutive games. He didn't hit 3 home runs in 3 consecutive at-bats, although he did. He hit 3 home runs on 3 pitches. First pitch, boom, home run. Next time he comes up, first pitch, boom, home run. 3 times in a row. Now, again, I'll reiterate, I hate Reggie Jackson, but there's no bigger rising to the occasion in the history of the World Series.
I just want to correct you about something, by the way.
No.
Yeah, because you said Shohei Ohtani makes $50 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. $70 million.
$70 million.
He's getting paid $2 million.
He gives the gambling guy $20 million just to play with.
He gets $2 million per year, and then deferred money is $68 million per year. So it's $70 million.
Oh yeah.
So
I set up
bring that number even further up.
My WEI contract was like that. I had the contract and the pay, and then I got the deferred pay. Which is still they haven't paid me yet. They owe me $1,500.
Well, they're $1,500,000.
How about that's like being Bobby Bonilla? Bobby Bonilla gets paid till he's like 100 years old from the Mets.
It's $1 million check.
$1 million every year for doing shit.
Manny's still getting $1 million check. No one talks about that.
I want to talk about Manny in a second here. You guys ready for some Manny talk?
Ready.
You know how I can talk Manny.
You hate him. I love him.
Well, why don't you go kiss him on the butt crack then?
I
if
would.
You love him so much.
Book him as a guest.
God. Okay. So now here's what I want to talk about. Yesterday was the 20th anniversary of the Red Sox breaking the jinx, the greatest jinx in baseball history. 86 years out World Series.
By the way, I know this is kind of cruel, but we almost had Joe Castiglione with us today.
What happened?
Can you believe it? He's traveling. He couldn't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
He said by horse and buggy.
No, he said
doesn't have a cell phone.
He says he's enjoying his retirement. He's still getting used to it.
Well, if he was on the podcast, he'd enjoy it even more because we do nothing but pay tribute to the great Joe Castiglione, Hall of Famer.
Leave Joe alone.
I love him. I love the guy. I'm going to get my glasses for this because some of this type of stuff. Okay, now, where were you when the Red Sox broke the jinx? Where exactly did you, when it actually happened, where were you?
I was in my house.
All right. Could you give us the address?
It was 602 Potter Road, Framingham, Massachusetts.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Ooh, bad traffic in that neighborhood.
Sometimes.
No, drug trafficking. That's what I'm talking about.
I know. Sometimes. When I lived there, yes.
Where were you, Smitty, when the Red Sox broke?
I was at, I think we were at, on Guest Street. I think we were at Guest Street on the radio station was there. That's where I was.
No, you were at the radio station?
Pardon?
At 11 o'clock at night, you were at the radio station?
No, that must have been the following day.
You don't remember where you were?
I don't remember the exact moment it happened, no, but I remember witnessing the game.
Okay.
Listening to Joe go, can you believe it? I heard that on the radio. I heard that
Imagine
live.
if Joe did it like that, though. Can you believe it?
Red Sox.
The Red Sox finally break the chain. Can you believe
86
it?
years.
Can you believe it?
All right, we'll see you next year.
Can you believe it?
Don't forget, hope springs eternal.
All right, now, there's some heroes in that series that don't get any attention whatsoever, and there are heroes that get way too much attention, and I'm going to explore that a little bit with you, okay?
Now, you're talking about the 2004
World Series, yeah. Because it was almost anticlimactic because of what they did to the Yankees coming back from the down 3 games and winning it in 7. That was huge. That was actually the biggest moment of that whole season was that.
That was magic.
But do you remember, hold on, before you get to that point, do you remember in that moment in between the ALCS when we beat the Yankees to when the World Series started and pretty much every national person was predicting the Cardinals? Everyone was predicting. I know it feels anticlimactic now.
Yeah.
Because it was a 4-game sleep. But everyone was predicting them, and then you went in and smashed them.
You did, but not without a little consternation in Game 1.
Sure.
Okay. Now, I'm going to mention this guy's name, and you guys are going to tell me what he did that was so special. Mark Bellhorn. You don't when you talk about the Red Sox of 2004, you talk about everybody from Schilling to Kevin Millar and Dave Roberts, for God's sake, but you never hear Mark Bellhorn's name mentioned.
Did Bellhorn hit like a? I'm trying to. You know me in sports,
right?
But I'm connecting the name with an event. Did he hit like a grand slam?
No. He hit three home runs in 2 games. And if this guy was not known, he's what did he hit? 8th or 9th in a team, I think.
Yeah, but he was still like a 20 home run guy through the year.
And a lot of strikeouts. And he looked like a pig pen. He was like filthy looking guy. And he never said shit to anybody. He was just really odd, you know. Mark Bellhorn in Game 1 helped the Red Sox win with a go-ahead home run in the 8th. Again, for the second time in 3 home runs, which were in 3 straight games, off the foul pole.
Oh.
He hit Pesky's pole. On the other game, he hit the pole and left. Then he hit that guy in the chest in the outfield. Remember that?
I do remember that.
I remember that one.
Oh, that was great. Yeah. So Bellhorn was a guy who stood up there strong in the Game 1. Schilling led the team by pitching 6 innings and allowing just 1 run. Now the Red Sox won the first 2 games despite 4 errors in each game. Here's why I bone to pick with Manny. Manny was the MVP of the World Series, and I'm going to prove to you he did not deserve that. But in the top of the 8th inning of Game 1, Renteria, Folk comes in to pitch. Folk was stunningly great in both the World Series and the ALCS. I mean, he gave up like no runs. Renteria singles toward Manny in left field, who unintentionally kicked the ball away, allowing Jason Marquise. No, I call him I have a Grand Marquise on the driveway. So the run scores. Okay, so Manny boots one because he was a clown in the outfield. You know he was. And then Walker hits the ball towards Ramirez. In the next at bat, Manny slides in an attempt to try to catch the ball, but trips and deflects the ball for his second error in 2 plays. And the 4th Red Sox error of the game. Now, bottom of the 8th, Veritek reaches on an error. Bellhorn hits a home run off the right field pesky pole for his 3rd home run in as many games to give the Red Sox the win, 11-9. So Bellhorn was a legitimate hero in that game and in that series. What you may not know is that in 3 games, hit the 3 home runs, 2 foul poles. He had a World Series OPS of 1.263, which was the best on the entire Red Sox team. He slugged 700 in that series. He had 5 walks and a .563 on-base percentage. Mark Bellhorn, everybody. Let's give him some credit where credit's due. What do you say?
Okay, good job. Thanks, Mark.
Now, is he a bell or a horn? I don't know. You ask him, he goes, ding. honk.
Oh, we're so dumb.
Ding, honk. No. Honk, honk. Bell horn. So I love the guy, and if he's probably drunk somewhere like that guy I picked up in an Uber car.
He's probably listening to this podcast thinking he's going to hit you in the head.
No, he would never. He's too mellow. All right, so now, just to delve a little more into the stats here. Folk was the hero and should have been the MVP of both the ALCS and the World Series. No, wait, Poppy won the ALCS MVP. He hit 369. He had 3 home runs. He drove in 11 runs. Poppy in the ALCS had 12 hits, 11 runs batted in, a triple, 3 homers, and he batted 369. That's pretty good. The other guy that deserves more credit, I mean, we talk about Dave Roberts, who's now managing the Dodgers, who are going to win the World Series this year. But as a player, he was very, very nothing. He's kind of a pinch runner guy, maybe defensive replacement guy, little guy. He didn't do much in his major league career. But in Red Sox Nation, he never has to pay for a drink for the rest of his life because he stole 1 base. Barely, by the way.
He very barely.
Barely got that base stolen. And I allude to the Bernie Carbo moment when Bernie Carbo hit the 3-run home run against the Reds that enabled Fisk to have that gigantically memorable moment with a home run. That wouldn't have happened if Carbo didn't hit a 3-run home run in the 8th tie of the game. So, but you don't hear Bernie Carbo's name. You see Carlton Fisk every single time there's a World Series, over and over again, but you don't hear about Bernie. Well, Bernie put him there. The guy that put Roberts on base was Kevin Millar. He walked. They pinch ran for Millar with Dave Roberts. He barely steals second base off the best closer in baseball. But who drove him in? Bill Miller. Mm-hmm. You don't hear about Bill Miller, and here's what I got to say about Bill Miller. Manny wins the MVP in the World Series. Bill Miller hit .429 in that World Series with a 1.127 OPS in the World Series. And they give it to Manny. Manny had a home run, and he drove in 4 runs. But Bill Miller had a whole bunch of hits. And Bill Miller got him there with that base hit that scored Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts could have croaked and died at second base, and you never hear his name again for the rest of your life. Instead, Bill Miller drives him home off Mariano, and history is made. But where's Bill Miller? Why don't they honor Bill Miller? Why don't they have a night for Bill Miller at Fenway Park? He's the guy that kept the whole thing going. And I think it's totally unfair that a guy like him, a low-profile guy, switch hitter, a guy's done a lot of great things in baseball, gets 0 credit. But Dave Roberts, they talk about him constantly.
Bill Miller's still beloved by Red Sox fans. It's not brought up as much, and you don't see the image because you see the Ortiz home run or you see the Roberts steal, and that's really it.
Yeah. I just think he should get more credit. That's all. I really do. So
Manny won the World Series MVP because he did hit over 400. He had that home run. He drove in 4, and he led the team in hits. That's why he won.
Did he lead the team?
He had the most hits. He had 7 hits. No one else had 7.
They were all singles,
except for that.
Oh, wait. Here's the thing about Manny. The ALCS I talked about. The 0 runs batted in.
Mm-hmm.
Poppy had 11 in that series, 7-game series. Poppy drove in 11. Manny had 0 runs batted in. Okay, so the reason they're in the World Series, the reason Manny could even have an opportunity to win the World Series MVP is because the other guys carried him. He didn't do shit. And he had 2 errors, almost blew game 1 in the World Series, right? Now, it's not that I don't hate Manny, but I'm just pointing out that he gets all these accolades for shit. He was a cheating steroid guy.
Don't remember he was awesome in the ALDS.
Okay.
I know you don't like him, but come on,
but
man.
I think I won the argument. He had 0 runs batted in the biggest series in Red Sox history. 0.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, it's hit. I'm not disagreeing with you that he's importance at that point was overinflated, but good God, man, he was fucking awesome.
It was a steroid guy, though. Cheater.
Yeah.
I don't like cheaters.
90% of Major League Baseball was.
Where I come from,
you love Ortiz.
Cheaters never win, and winners never cheat.
Where do you come from?
And wieners never chin. So my World Series experience, where I was at a place in Billerica, Massachusetts called the Emerald Rose. Now, I should have been at the game, but the WEI had a problem with adding me to any of their travel budgets because I, at the time was a little more unbridled than I am now. I'm totally in control now. But back then there was, we'd rather send Mutt or somebody, some other.
He was like 20 and didn't work.
I don't know. Fuck him. So, whatever. It doesn't matter. I was at the bar drinking to watch the Red Sox win the World Series for the first time in 86 years. Okay? And I was at the Emerald Rose with a lot of my friends who worked at Waltham Ford. And I'm drinking, having fun watching it. This is great. Because they were on the road and I was drinking. And the Emerald Rose is a really good place to drink, Irish place up in Billerica. Yep. Loved it there. So, of course, when they actually won it, what would be my inclination at that moment? Who do I call?
Ghostbusters?
My dad. Oh. My dad, who at the time was he was born in 23, so he was 81.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I call him, and I, of course, because he's been waiting, 81 years he's been waiting for this. And I knew that. So I called.
Did the conversation go something like, "Hey, Dad,
I just puked on my nice new shoes, Daddy.
And the socks won.
Can you buy me some socks?" No, it wasn't quite that bad.
No.
Afterwards, I got drunker afterwards. Oh. So I talked to my dad. I said, "You watching?" He goes, "Of course I'm watching." And he's all excited. And I said, "This is great." It's the father and son thing. And he's the one talking me to my first Red Sox game. He used to watch Ted Williams play when he went to Northeastern. He was a big fan. So I say, and then all of a sudden my cell phone rings. And I say, "I got to go. I got another call." He goes, "Okay." I hang up the phone. It's my son, Scott, calling me.
How about that?
To have the exact same conversation I just had with my father. It was great. And it was like, here goes the circle of life. Now, my other two sons hadn't been born yet. So I got drunker and drunker that night. I mean, that was. Now, I get a call from about an hour later from Dino saying, Meter's not coming in tomorrow. Can you come in and fill in if we're doing a show from Fenway?
What time was this?
When the Red Sox buses show up. I said, yeah, sounds like great time, So I was so shit-faced. I didn't get to bed till like 3 in the morning. Then I got to get up at 4:30 to get to Fenway in time for the buses and the show to start at 6 a.m. And I smelled like the guy I picked up Uber driving. I was a mess. And we did it from the studio in center field. And here comes Larry Lucchino and Theo Epstein and all those people coming in as guests on the show. And the whole room smelled like alcohol. And surprisingly, I was more sober than Dino at that point. So we do the whole thing in there, and it was great. It was great to see the buses come out. Here's everybody getting off the bus, Pedro and you, everybody. That's where I was when the Red Sox finally reversed the curse in 2004. I was at a bar. And then at Fenway when they showed up. And I was still drunk at 6 a.m.
I mean, there were two, in that decade, there were two Patriots championships before that 04 World Series. And they were huge. It was a huge, especially 01, like everything that happened with the country. And Boston hadn't won since 86. So there was this really long run up. And that was really special. But nothing can ever touch the 04 World Series and the Red Sox winning the championship that year.
That was the one.
Nothing
crazy.
can touch it, even though we'd already started to have success and all that.
Yeah.
We've had tremendous success since then with huge comebacks and everything. Nothing comes close to that.
No. And the World Series is always special, too, because it's an event. Now, in the old days, when I went to my first World Series game in 64, my dad took me, and I skipped school or whatever, and it was a Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. I said, there's Mickey Mantle. It was unbelievable. And I was rooting for the Cardinals. I was the only guy in the Yankee Stadium waving a Cardinal pennant. I was like, yeah, because I hated the Yankees even then. But, and it was daytime games, of course. They all were. And after the game, I waited so I could see Mickey Mantle come out, and he got into a limo right away. He didn't even wave at anybody, just going right into a limo. But I said, yeah, that's why I was there, to see the legendary Yankees of Whitey Ford and all those guys. In 86, it was a whole different story because now I'm in the media working for Channel 3 and I got press passes. And I'm going to every single game, Shea Stadium and Fenway Park, back and forth, covering all the game, doing live shots, doing pieces. And, the Game 6 thing was obviously the biggest, weirdest moment. So in the bowels of Shea Stadium, where all the Boston media is gathered because the Red Sox are about to win and go to the World Series. I mean, and win the World Series for the first time in how long? Everybody was gathered there. You know, Lobel, everybody from Boston media was there. And then we hear the roar of the crowd. Oh, wait, they got a runner. Oh, they go, oh, now they got Mookie. Oh. And, you know, it's like, so standing right nearby us was Billy Joel. He had sang the national anthem. It was a whole bunch of people standing there. And all of a sudden, here comes Christy Brinkley. After the Mets won it on the Buckner era, here comes Christy Brinkley. She's holding the new Billy Joel's little baby, you know. And she comes out and goes, "We won, we won." And you hear somebody from the back crowd of the media go, "Fuck you." And she heard it. I know she did. Some media member couldn't contain himself. It's Christy Brinkley, and you're saying "fuck you" to her, you know. So that was terrible. So I had to go on the field, interview Gary Carter and all these guys. They were all sparkling happy, and because they just did this, they did this stupid thing and poor Buckner, you know, I felt so bad for him. And then, of course, the Game 7 was a couple days later. They had like a rain out or something or a delay, and I flew back to Connecticut. I didn't want to stay there, and I went back for the Game 7, right? And I'm thinking, well, maybe they'll win Game 7, and, you know, I should have known better. There was a guy walking around Shea Stadium with a giant sign. Said 1918 was a fluke. And I thought, oh, ouch, but that's great. Yeah. You know, it's unbelievable. So, and in 07 at the World Series out in Colorado, I was on the field, you know, and here's all John Henry and all the people walking around and celebrating with cigars, and it was a sweep. And it was also anticlimactic based on the 04 thing. He was on 07. It was great. They won the World Series. I'm out in Colorado. I don't know anybody except like Rob Bradford or somebody. And, so I was on the field for that, which is a wonderful thing. And, of course, the biggest thing ever was the duck boat ride. Because when I got to that duck boat, and we're driving around, and there's 1 million people, and I'm like, they're all here to see me. Look at all these people. Hi. Hello. Which is, you know, then I thought about it. I thought, you know what? Not one of those 1 million people were here to see me. No. Not one.
Yeah.
Nope. So I felt bad about that forever.
You didn't have a sign with your name on it?
I still am kind of depressed about it. Not one out of 1 million, nobody wanted to see me. No, they didn't give a shit. Although some girls were throwing their underwear at me, the fat ones, the fat girls. And they were all different colors, the underwear. Yeah. It's because they'd been worn for a week or so.
Oh, man.
Oh. But no, the duck boat was a great thing because, you know, how often do you get to ride in a duck boat with 1 million people there? No matter what. So I mooned about half of them. It was great.
Did you have a sign with your name on it? You know, hey, look, it's
I was with Joe Castiglione. He was on the same. It was Joe and me and Joe Zarbano.
Yeah.
It was fun, though. It was a good time. And it was my last Red Sox. And I haven't been back to Fenway Park since 2016. You know, it's been 8 years since I've been to Fenway. Oh. And, you know, I'm a guy who used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember Joe came in to do a commercial. This was like right after they won the 04 series, and he came in and he had the big ring on.
Yeah.
And they brought in some clients, some the salespeople did, and they told him, bring the ring. So we go in and they met Joe. It was like a really big deal because there's Joe. He's like an icon. He's got the big ring on, and he passed it around to all these clients, and they're looking at it with that look that you get on your face. It's like, holy shit, it's the real thing. And Joe was so proud of that thing. It was real nice. He let me wear it. It's heavy as shit.
Well, you know, in Russia, they just keep it when you pass it around. They just keep it. You know, they take it. They go, oh, thanks.
Oh,
they
thanks.
think it's a gift.
I would keep these.
Anyway, so I'll win big money on that Dodger bet because, you know what? Come on, I'm like a wizard. I've been on fire lately with the bets.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've tripled my original bank.
Hey, I want to ask you something about that.
$30.
You can gamble on the games, but now they have these apps. Do you suppose that you'll spend more money and what's the name? Like DraftKings?
Yeah.
That you've got the app. They're going to make a lot more money because people are just going to keep sitting there.
Impulse.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for them is that you lost the early game. You lost the the 1 p.m. Sunday afternoon NFL game. And before, you'd have to go back to the casino or whatever to place your other bet.
Yeah.
or whatever. And,
You
and
got
now
to.
you can
That's
just
what bookies are for.
You can chase losses much faster this way, which
Yeah.
is
You
the
sure
worst way
can.
of gambling.
And so, so you keep going, and maybe that accounts for the disclaimer, that long disclaimer that got a gambling problem, call this, that whole thing.
That's funny because they intentionally try to create you to have a gambling problem.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Why is it, hey, bet $5 on this game and we'll give you $150 in betting credits, so you keep betting.
So you can
keep
lose
betting,
that.
Keep betting. They're trying to get you addicted to it and keep doing it.
I think it's working.
It's incredibly obvious, too.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way the world is, though. You give people what they need, and then you get them to the point where you know what I'm saying. And that's because we're all losers. As bettors, we're losers. Just like the New York Yankees are in this World Series.
Losers, baby.
You know what? I'm a loser. John Lennon had a song with the Beatles. Was it Beatles 65?
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a loser. This is a Beck version. Joe and Jerry, the Planet Mikey podcast, live in stereo. Well, it's taped. Still in stereo, though. In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey. Butane in my veins, I'm out to cut the junkie with the plastic eyeballs. Spray paint the vegetables, dog food skulls and beefcake pantyhose. Kill the headlights, troop. Put it in neutral. Stock car flaming with the loser in the cruise control. Babies in Reno with the vitamin D, Joe. A couple of couches sleep on a love seat. Someone came in saying I'm insane to complain about a shotgun wedding, a stain on my shirt. Don't believe everything that you breathe. You get a parking violation and a maggot on your sleeve. So shave your face with some mace in the dark, saving all your food stamps, burning down the trailer park. Yo! Cut it. Soy. Oh, her daddy door. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me? Soy Joe. Perdedor. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you fight me? Forces of evil in a bozo nightmare. Then all the music with the phony gas chamber. Because what's got a weasel? This doesn't make sense. One's on the pole, Joe. Shove the other in a bag. The rerun shows and the cocaine nose job. The daytime crap. The folk singer slub. He hung himself with a guitar string. A slab of turkey nuggets hanging from a pigeon wing. Can you believe it? At Shaw's. Joe, I'm getting tired. Falling on a termite, was choking on the splinters. Soy. Heard a door. Yeah, I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you blow me? It's time to go home.